Well, you might be spending more time at home cooking up meals, so how do you make the dishes coming out of your kitchen taste like they were just made in a restaurant?
Well, oftentimes it comes down to the herbs and spices you put into it. Into the meal, that is. Michelle Oliver talked with a professional chef to get the scoop. Take a look.
Frequently, the difference between delicious food and just okay food is the seasonings. And seasoning can be very tricky. So for this, I'm going to talk to Chef Greg Antiojo of Smith & Co. Hi, Greg. How are you doing?
Hi, Michelle. Doing well. It's nice to see all those spices out.
Yeah, so I kind of raided my spice cabinet and this was the result. Out of curiosity, how do you organize your spice cabinet? I frequently like to organize mine by spices that go together well.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it. At the restaurant, we tend to organize things by dishes. Having that general organization can be invaluable as far as when you're sitting there and you're like, do I have to run to the store and grab another thing of curry powder? But if you remember where it is because it's with the other spices that go along with that, then it would definitely save a little bit of time and money.
What is the biggest mistake you would say people make when they're seasoning at home versus what you do at a restaurant?
Definitely under seasoning with whatever spice or herb or whatever it is you're using. And if you start by adding a little bit more actually, when it's coming to anything pretty much other than salt, you're probably right where you need to be.
All right, I want to talk about the importance of salt. When should you be seasoning with salt and pepper? How often? All that stuff.
It depends on what the application is. When I'm seasoning proteins, I'm always going to reach for kosher salt because of the size of the grain, and I'm going to try to season ahead of time. It really takes about 20 minutes for salt to do its thing. If you season it right beforehand, you're going to get some salt on the surface of the food. If you allow it to sit for around 20 minutes, you're going to have the salt actually penetrate the outside of the food and season the inside. When we're talking about fish being a little bit more delicate, that we could season more to order.
One of the things that always tends to get asked, at least when I'm cooking, is I'll taste it and I'll be like, it's missing something. What is it missing? How can you figure out like, this is good, but this would make it better?
I think it's really easy to think about the 5 different tastes on your tongue, right? You have sweet, sour, salty, spicy, and savory, or umami. Those are going to dictate kind of what direction you want to head. So if you taste something and you feel like it's lacking a foundation or a base, there's a million different words for it. Generally, you're looking for umami.
When I do umami, I'll do soy sauce, or if I'm not cooking with an Asian thing, I'll often add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah, so when something feels muddy or the flavors are all kind of mixed together, then you can add either a little bit of salt or a little bit of acid to really bring some clarity to whatever it is you're tasting. There's a huge spectrum of different vinegars. I also love to substitute hot sauce in a lot of situations where I'm looking to get a little bit of vinegar because it's got a little heat to it as well. If I'd like to add salt, that's also my opportunity to add a little bit more flavor. So I reach for something like soy sauce because it has the salt that I need to punch up a dish, but it also has a lot more flavor. So everything and every time that you add something is an opportunity to either add flavor or kind of take away from it. For instance, if you add water to something, you could have added chicken stock. Those types of situations are really what's going to create a complex, layered flavor versus just something that's kind of flat.
Thank you so much for all of your help.
Thank you for having me.
You can hear all of that advice again by checking out this story on clickondetroit.com.